Welcome to Coach's Corner with Jay, featuring the Noles head coach, Jay Sacosta, and our host, Lance LaFollette.
For your convenience and peace of mind, AmeriDrive by Stark offers teen driver education in these locations: Woodsfield, St. Clairsville, Wintersville, Martins Ferry, New Philadelphia, Marietta, Harrison Central, and Buckeye Local. 3 weeks of classroom study is held on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings. State licensed and certified by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, AmeriDrive has been teaching teens and adults to drive for 20 years. 8 hours of one-on-one behind-the-wheel instruction is scheduled at convenient times. Call AmeriDrive by Stark at 1-800-YOU-DRIVE-2. For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the perfect coffee table and tables and lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today.
Good evening and welcome to Coach's Corner. 4 weeks in the books, the Seminoles are now 4-0 after last week's 35-6 win over the Caldwell Redskins. We talked about it, Coach, on the show, and it's not always the easiest place to go play. Seminoles got out early on top, and second half basically just played about even football.
Well, we did get out early, pretty good start, Lance, but then we sputtered a little bit, and some things that we're not real happy about that we need to definitely improve upon if we're going to continue to win this coming weekend down the road, and that's the fact that we got to quit fumbling the football. I know we had 4 fumbles, a couple of them with the younger kids, but we seem to fumble the ball a couple times a game, and we can't do that. The other thing that we are very, very concerned about is the number of penalties that we're committing. We've been increasing our penalties each week, and we've been averaging 8 penalties per game, and in the first 4 games, and about 66 yards per game in penalties. And that has to stop. We had 12 penalties against Caldwell, and that's entirely too many penalties. So we have to, some things they're going to happen, but there's a lot of things that we definitely need to quit doing, and we definitely have to cut down on those penalties in order to beat the good football teams.
Okay. Well, you talk about mental mistakes with the penalties and offsides and motion and things like that, but we've had several aggressive penalties where, blocks in the back and personal fouls and that type of thing. What can you attribute that to?
Well, I don't know that you can really put a finger on exactly what causes that, other than the fact that, you want your kids to be aggressive and go after people on defense, and you want them to be aggressive and you want them to go after and block people when you're on offense. But sometimes you have to be a little bit, we tell our young men to try to play smart and make sure you throw at the right time and use your head and know when not to throw and not to take a chance in getting a penalty. So a lot of those things I think should be easily corrected. And then the other ones, we're just going to have our young men play smart game in and game out every play and think a little bit instead of committing some of the the penalties that they've been committing.
A couple of weeks ago we had Curtis Merrick on. It turns out the only score Caldwell got was against special teams, but Curtis did a whale of a job of kicking off, kicked the ball into the end zone in the air, and come a yard short of a shutout, basically, if that one goes in the end zone.
Well, we talked about that when we had Curtis on the show earlier in the year, and we talked about how he was moving the ball pretty well in preseason drills, and then first couple of weeks he struggled a little bit. He seems to maybe have found the rhythm. We at least hope so. He's in a groove now. He's been booming, and he boomed the extra points over there the other night, and they were right down the middle and plenty of room, no doubt about that. He's been improving as far as his kickoffs are concerned, and the one he did kick to the 1-yard line, we told our young men that the Laser Boy had the speed. We talked about that on the show last week to go the distance, and he just broke it from the middle to the outside off his right side and went all the way. And once he got in the open, no one was going to catch him. So you can't fault Curtis. Curtis did an outstanding job getting the ball down there, but we just didn't do a good job on coverage.
Statistically, another good night. Got the running game going. Gabe Gordon over 100 yards. That's the first 100-yard game we've had this year. Josh Ishii with some success throwing the ball again.
Well, you look at the stats, and you'll see that in no way, shape, or form is anything planned this way, but I'm real pleased the fact that and I've talked about this before, we've had good balance with our three backs, Gabe Gordon, fullback, and Aaron Brown, our tailback, and also quarterback Josh Ishii. And had Josh's touchdown not been called back, all those backs would have been, with a lot of yardage. Again, Josh ended up, I think, with 40-some yards, but Aaron was close to 100 yards. I think he had about 80 or 90, and Gabe was over the 100-yard mark with about 160-some. So, we're getting all those guys touches with the ball, and they're responding real well. And our offensive line did a pretty nice job. And, we took the ball, we moved it right down. We mixed it up a little bit, little run, little pass. We scored on a play-action pass. And Josh threw the ball 4 times. He was 4 for 4, and those kind of things are things we like to see on the offensive side of the ball. So hopefully we can correct some of those mistakes and continue to do a good job moving the football and playing stingy defense.
Okay. Well, one of the keys to moving that football is that offensive line. One of our guests tonight is our center, number 50, Chris Jeffers. So we're going to take our first break and come back and talk with Chris right after this.
New name, same great service. Ormet Credit Union is now Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. Visit us in our new facility in Hannibal, built with more convenient parking and easier drive-through. If you live, work, or attend school in Belmont or Monroe counties, you are eligible for membership in the Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. To serve you better, we also have locations in St. Clairsville and Clarington. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. Community is our middle name. McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell strongly believe in supporting our kids, both in school and in extracurricular activities. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. They're happy to support our players, our cheerleaders, and our band. After the game, celebrate at McDonald's of Woodsfield, where we love to make you smile.
We're back now with number 50, Chris Jeffers, who plays center for the Seminoles on the offensive side and also does the long snapping duties. Chris, we've had a lot of guys on here the last couple of years who were converted from wide receiver and such positions. You're not 220 pounds. Have you always been a lineman, or when did this happen?
Well, in junior high I came up. I was quarterback in junior high. And from my freshman year on, I've been a lineman. And this year I just moved to center. I was guard last year and just try to get the job done.
Okay. Doing the long snapping duties also, that's a very important role, and we've had a lot of good luck with their kicking game so far. What experience did you have previous to this year long snapping?
Well, I never long snapped in junior high or Pee Wee or any of that. Just I came up as a freshman and decided I'd do that and worked on it and then got that job too.
Okay. You're playing pretty well full-time on the offensive side. Defensively, you haven't got a whole lot of time in right now, but what position are you listed at from there?
Defensive end is what it says in the program, so if I get in there, then give it my best shot and work hard.
Okay. Coach, another one of those guys, whatever it takes for the team, seems like you get a lot of those guys, and Chris has stepped up and is doing the job pretty well.
Well, as Chris mentioned, he's played several positions, and we just felt, after losing John Michael Spielman, our center, that, Chris was good enough to play somewhere, and that's where we really felt we needed him, or a spot he could fill. And I felt he had the capabilities of, doing some long snapping. I thought he, with his ability to snap the ball, he could do us a good job snapping as far as the shotgun is concerned, which is critical. So we gave him that opportunity. He's responded real well thus far. Not having any varsity experience of playing, in a game situation before he stepped in, and he's done a real nice job. As you mentioned, he's got some nice height, but he doesn't have much in the way of weight. I've been trying to talk to him to eat a little bit more to try to put on some weight, which would help in there with some of those big guys that he faces. But he's been doing a pretty nice job for us offensively. Has not, as you mentioned, seen really any action on defense, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't play there if we need him. So if so, we'll probably use him at a defensive end to start with. But overall, he plays a key role because everything starts with the snap of the ball, and then his duties of snapping on long snapping for punts and also short snapping for extra points. You know, everybody looks at the final product of the kicking. We talked about Curtis's kicking last week. He had successful extra points. That wouldn't happen unless we had a good snap to start with. You have to have a good snap, good placement, and then you have to have a good kick. So Chris gets it all started by snapping the ball both on offense and for a long and short snap. So hopefully he can continue to do that, and I think he'll get more comfortable as the year progresses, and as he gets more experience, I think he'll get better and better.
Okay. I'll tell you what, we'll probably have some highlights of an extra point or two tonight, and if you keep an eye on it, that ball's right there just about every time.
And, you know, as we mentioned before with some of our guys the last 2 or 3 years, guys have had to step in and play positions that I'm sure if you asked Chris, he wouldn't, that probably wouldn't be a position he would pick. He'd rather play maybe somewhere else. But, again, the sacrifice for the team, for the betterment of the team, is something that he has done, and that shows you he's a team player, and that's something that's very, very important. So hopefully he'll continue to grow and blossom as the year progresses.
Okay. Well, Chris, you guys are 4-0 right now. Homecoming this week, you know, Fort Bragg coming in with an 0-4 record. We've talked to some guys in the past. You have all kinds of distractions, you know, to try to keep you from getting done what needs to be done. How's things going this week, preparation-wise?
Well, we're pretty focused. We weren't so focused against the River game, but I think that straightened us out a lot. We're working on it, and we'll get the job done.
Okay. Well, good luck this week. Bring 7-0. We're going to take a quick break and talk to one of the guys that's been running behind Chris this year, number 44, Gabe Gordon.
FW Shoemaker Insurance Agency celebrating 100 years of service to our community. FW Shoemaker is an independent agency representing many reputable companies for all of your insurance needs. Only the most professional agencies represent Westfield Insurance. The best of the best are recognized as Westfield Platinum agencies, and FW Shoemaker is proud to be a Platinum agency. FW Shoemaker Insurance and the Monroe Central Seminoles, 2 winning traditions.
We're back now with number 44, Gabe Gordon, senior fullback, linebacker. Gabe, first off, you had a nice game the other night, 160-plus yards rushing, a couple touchdowns. Been getting the ball a little bit more this year than you had in the past. How's things with that?
I think it's shaping up pretty good. Seems like our line's definitely doing a good job. So, you know, I wouldn't be getting many yards without the line. So, I mean, that's where it all starts. And I think as most of our guys are getting older and more seasoned, it seems like we're knowing the plays better, and I can read the blocks more. You know, the more plays we're in, the more plays snaps we have together. It seems like the better we can do. You know, practice makes perfect. So I think that's contributed to the success we've had individually and as a team. So.
Okay, you had a lot of success running the ball up the middle, bouncing it outside, and then we saw the fullback toss down the river, went for big yardage. Can you give me an idea of what your favorite play might be?
There's a couple plays I like. I really like our wing right or wing left Redskin special, and then I like the toss. It's fun running up the middle. You know, you get to run over people, but every once in a while when you get to bounce it outside or get to the outside and try to get to the sideline, it's a little easier to break it when you only have a couple people that make miss, as opposed to having 6 or 7 guys miss up the middle. So up the middle is good, but I like outside every once in a while too. So.
Okay, from that defensive side of the ball, player of the year last year, defensive back, and you were forced to make the change to linebacker this year. How has that transaction gone?
I think the move from cornerback to linebacker has worked out pretty well this year. It seems like every game I'm still learning a little bit more. The first game I was a little bit hesitant. It seemed like the second game I got a little bit better. The third game and then the fourth game, it seems like I've kind of learned from mistakes and watched some game tape and saw what I've done wrong. And so, when we watch the game tape, we watch for a reason to get better. And so you can always pick out what you do good, but you have to watch it and pick out the things you do wrong so that you can improve on it. And I think I've worked week from week to try to get myself better as far as that is. And I think I like linebacker a little bit better than cornerback because you get in and get some action and get some hits, and it seems like it's always fun fighting off the block to make a tackle. So I like being in the middle of the action at linebacker.
Okay, well, we missed out on the shutout the other night, but the defensive team there didn't give up any scores as far as the defense goes. How do we stand as far as team goals there go?
So far, we're almost on track. We wanted to have 3 shutouts this year. So far we have 2, so, if we can get one this game, we meet our goal. But, once we meet our goal, we're not going to stop there. We want to keep on getting better, and that's always our defense. We've always prided ourselves on good defense and, getting hits on defense. So, our main goal is always to shut people out, but if we can hold them, to a field goal or a touchdown a game, we feel like we're doing a pretty good job.
Coach, Gabe's like having another coach on the field a lot of times, especially from that defensive side of the ball. He seems to be where the ball is all the time, a good guy to have around.
Well, he sure is, Lance. And Gabe's been around for a long time. He started for us at corner as a freshman, and he's been at that position for 3 years. You mentioned about the transition that he's made from the corner position to the inside linebacker position. That's something that we'd preferred to leave him at corner, but because of personnel, each year you have to make some adjustments and do the things you feel make you stronger as a team. We felt that we needed to move Gabe to the inside linebacker position because that would make us stronger as an overall defensive unit, and he's done a nice job. As mentioned, he's starting to become a little more familiar and comfortable with that position because there's a big difference in playing corner in the secondary and playing inside linebacker. So he's done a real nice job with that, and I think he'll continue to improve there. On the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned he's getting more touches, and I know that kind of makes him happy. Last couple of years with Christopher Wilson in the backfield, Christopher got most of the touches and most of the carries, but Gabe made great use of the times or opportunities he got to carry the ball. He had an outstanding average per carry the last couple of years, even though he didn't get a lot of yards and a lot of carries. But this year, as I said, we've got nice balance. We've got 3 guys for the defense to be concerned about with him and with Aaron and with Josh, and we hope that continues because I think all those guys kind of complement each other. But Gabe had a nice night the other night. He rushed for 166 yards, made some nice cuts. And the last couple of years I've been telling Gabe, over and over, run like a fullback, run like a fullback. We haven't had to tell him that this year because he is running like a fullback. He's always got his legs pumping. He's broken a lot of tackles when people thought they had him down. He's got nice size, about 200 pounds, so he has the ability to do that. And I'm sure he's going to continue to run hard and get the job done for us offensively as well as on the defensive side of the ball. I think Gabe's greatest quality, though, is his leadership and what he brings to the team in that respect, because he's an outstanding young man. He's going to be a guy that we're going to sorely miss around here when he is gone because, like I say, he's been with us and been a starter on at least defense or both offense and defense for 3 years, this being his 4th year. So, he's done a lot for the program other than just playing on the field. Like I say, he's a quality young man, and I know his hopes are to go on and play at the next level, and, we hope he continues to have a great year and get that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, Gabe, believe it or not, it's almost halfway through the season. 4 weeks in the books. This is week 5. Almost got us perfect through that. We get it done Friday night, we're there. So good luck.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break and come back and look at some highlights right after this.
Hi, I'm Bill Reesbeck. You heard me talk many times about how we offer you the best variety at the best possible price every day. And we do it with no cards, no gimmicks, no hassle. Just like you, we're working to get the most we can for the money we spend. So if these things are important to you, come home to Reesbeck's. We'll even add customer service as we continue what Grandma started over 70 years ago.
Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
Go Noles!
Get the highlights started off with the opening kickoff. Gabe Gordon, one of our guests, picks up a nice return.
Well, it's nice to get great field position like this. Short kick, and Gabe picks it up. We get some nice blocks up front. We got one guy holding on to Gabe, but we get the ball out in great field position. Kind of a late hit right there by number 28 coming in, but we were in good shape offensively to start things.
Here we have Gabe Gordon going up the middle, running like a fullback.
Well, we go off tackle here with a power play, first play, and Gabe does a nice job of getting his shoulders squared up, keeping his legs driving, and he moves up the field for nice yardage.
Seminoles crack the scoreboard first, issue to Sam Miller.
Running out of the slot I formation here, we'll run a play action pass, fake the ball to Aaron Brown, and Josh will roll to his left and throws the ball right on the money to Sam Miller in the end zone for a touchdown.
Here's the first extra point of Curtis Merrick, 5 for 5 on the night.
We're talking about everything starting with the snap. You see Chris Jeffers over the ball, gets a nice snap to holder Josh Ishii. He puts it down, and Curtis booms it through, high and deep and right down the middle.
Talk about a weapon. This is a weapon here, Coach.
Well, this is what you like to have on your kickoffs, high and deep, and when you get a touchback and to make them start from the 20-yard line, it makes them go 80 yards to score, and that's an excellent way to start.
Let's highlight Sam Miller on defense, coming up to make a nice hit.
Number 88, Sam Miller, defensive linebacker, does an excellent job of coming up and putting the stick on. Fine defensive play.
This big defensive hit by Curtis Merrick was shown twice on Channel 9 the other evening on highlights.
Excellent hit defensively, gets some help from Dan Miller here, a lot of pressure on their quarterback as he tries to roll to his right. Those guys are right there in his face, put the big hit on him, and the ball comes loose, but the whistle is blown.
Aaron Brown picks up big yardage on the ground.
This goes to show you how important penalties are here. We have a nice execution of an offensive play, and Aaron does an exceptional job here and picks up big yardage, but we've got a penalty, and this is all called back.
Number 22, Tyler Graham, picks up decent yardage up the middle.
Yeah, nice run here by Tyler Graham. We just run motion to the left and run him on a dive. Here he finds his way through the line of scrimmage and picks up nice yardage.
Main thing on this highlight is that Aaron Brown shoots into the pitcher at the end for a touchdown.
Well, it's like being in B-Deck at Ohio State. You lose him behind the pole, now you see him, now you don't, and then you see him dive into the end zone here with a nice run off the right side for a touchdown.
Caldwell scores on the kickoff return, and here on the extra point attempt, Kenny Robinson picks off the pass.
You know, they try a little razzle-dazzle here. They got motion. They try a little toss sweep with a pass off of it, and Kenny's not fooled. He's right there, steps in front, and makes the interception on the extra point try.
Quarterback Josh Ishii picks up nice yardage on the keeper.
We're in the shotgun here, and Josh will run the ball out of the shotgun formation, and he picks up a couple nice blocks. He's got a nice hole in there, and then he cuts to the right and shows some speed, getting off to the sidelines and picks up a big gain.
Here, fullback Gabe Gordon runs for nice yardage.
Well, as we said, Gabe had a good night rushing, 166 yards. Here he takes the ball off the left side on our little counter action, shifts the ball to the outside arm, makes a nice cut right here, keeps his legs moving, pulls away from a couple tacklers, and gets a nice big run down in scoring position.
Number 30, Aaron Brown, gets on the board again for the Seminoles.
You know, Brown will carry the ball off the right side here, does a nice job of getting it in the end zone. You'll see we fake the Gabe inside, big hole off the right side, and then he bounces it outside and takes it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Josh Ishii hooks up Kenny Robinson for a 15-yard pass play.
Now operating out of the shotgun formation again, you see Chris Jeffers on our show tonight doing the snapping, gets the ball back to Josh. Josh sets up, gets a nice delivery out to Kenny on the outside, and he makes a nice catch and run.
Gabe talked about the pitch sweep that he liked to run. Here it is, Coach.
Yes, a toss sweep. We got the wing to the right side, and we'll send that wing in motion. Then we'll toss the ball to Gabe off the left side. Does a nice job of cutting it back right here against the grain. A lot of times you can break tackles, which he does, and takes the ball coming from out behind the pole down to the 1-yard line.
Gordon punches it in for another Seminole touchdown.
We're in a wing right, and we run a power off to the right side, and Gabe catches his bounce there and then takes it and high steps it into the end zone.
Number 88, Sam Miller on the blitz.
Number 88 does a nice job from his linebacking position right here. He comes in, he's all over the ball carrier, and he gets some help from a couple other guys, but Sam does an excellent job there.
It's a nice safe pass from Josh Ishii to fullback Gabe Gordon.
Here out of the gun, we send Gabe, number 44, in motion to the left, and Josh will dump the ball out to him and steps inside of a couple defensive players and picks up a nice little gain.
Gabe Gordon again, this time running for about 14 yards.
Again, we're lined up with the wing to this side and power formation in the backfield. We'll come back on the counter play, and Gabe picks up a couple nice blocks and picks up nice yardage.
Here, Dan Miller leads the charges as the Knoll defense stops a 4th down try.
Number 85, Dan Miller. Number 55, Curtis Merritt, do a nice job defensively here. They have 3rd and short. They try to run the ISO off the right side, nothing doing, great penetration and wrapping him up.
Here, Josh Ishii goes for about a 39-yard touchdown, only to be called back.
Fine run again, nullified by a penalty, which is something we talked about we have to correct. Here Josh goes off the left side, cuts it back, and then shows his speed and outruns, picks up a nice block there by Kenny Robinson and takes it in the end zone.
4th quarter action now. Gabe Gordon takes the ball the rest of the way in for the touchdown.
Well, this play puts it away. He goes off the right side on a power and makes a nice cut right here outside, and then he'll cut back inside and take it, another cut back inside and take it all the way in the end zone.
Curtis Merrick tacks on the extra point for the 35-6 final reading.
Curtis perfect on the night. Again, nice snap here by Chris Jeffers, and a nice hold by Josh Ishii, and a nice kick by Curtis Merrick.
Late in the game now, Caldwell driving. Josh Ishii stops it with an interception.
Well, they have trips to the right. They try to go deep to their outside man, and Josh is right there to make the interception in the end zone for the Seminoles.
Caldwell gets the ball back. They're still trying to score. Throw the ball deep, and Ishii intercepts again.
Well, identical to the previous interception, although this one, you say Josh brings it back here. He comes out of the end zone with it, makes a nice move right there, and takes it upfield. At this point in time, I'm hollering for him to get out of bounds rather than take a hit. But Josh is trying to get every yard he can.
It's time now for my Citizens National Bank Play of the Week.
2nd down and a yard. In the backfield, we now see a clean jersey. That belongs to Ryan Ferguson. He'll lead block here for Gordon.
That was a nice run by Gabe Gordon, but I'm telling you right now, Jeff, that was one nice block by Ryan Ferguson. Beautiful block.
We'll be right back to take a look at this week's opponent, the Fort Bragg Cadets.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
When it comes to the regular maintenance of your Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury, come to the service department at Doane Ford. From oil changes and brake work to alignments and major repairs, the service department at Doane's has state-of-the-art equipment and factory-trained technicians to keep you on the road. And for all types of body work, remember, Doane Ford's Collision Center is a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Fort Bragg Cadets come to town tomorrow night to take on the Seminoles. Cadets come in at 0-4, which we talked about nightmares preparing kids for different ball games, Coach. It's no different this week. Fort Bragg at 0-4 record, but actually 3 of those games were pretty close.
Well, the last 2 weeks, Lance, that's been our preparation mindset, which our kids have to understand. 2 weeks ago against River, they were 0-2. Last week against Caldwell, 0-3. Now this week against Fort Fry, 0-4. So we played 3 teams in a row, 3 straight weeks that have not won a game, but that doesn't mean anything. And we've told our young men over and over that you don't play to the level of your competition. You don't worry about what your competition's record is. You play the way you're capable of playing, and you get the job done. And at times against River, we didn't play to the way that we should be playing. And last week, we started out, as we mentioned, okay, and then we started making some simple mistakes, and we didn't play the way we were capable of playing. So, we're up 14-0 last week, and then all of a sudden, it's 14-6. So, we have to get out, and we have to do the job, and this week is no different.
Okay. Well, you talk about that thing exactly. They're 0-4. They come in Team like that has nothing to lose at this point. One thing happens, a field or a kickoff return or anything that gets them in that ball game, they're going to play extra hard and give it their all.
That's exactly what happens. In fact, you know, we tell our young men, you'll make your assignment or your task as tough or easy as you want it to be. If you go out and you get the job done and you dictate the tempo of the game right from the very beginning, because that team coming in 0-4 really doesn't feel that they have an opportunity to win. But you give them an opportunity to get a little bit of momentum rolling, then it's a different story. You're not now playing an 0-4 team. You're playing a team that's fired up and thinks they have an opportunity to beat a team that's 4-0. So we have to go out, we have to get started on the right foot, and we have to get things going, and then we have to continue to keep things going. We can't feel that because, you know, if you jump out quick that you have everything under control. You have to continue to maintain that tempo throughout the game.
Schedule-wise, what can you tell us as far as who they faced, what they've looked at this year score-wise?
Well, thus far this year, Lance, as we said, they're 0-4. They start off with a close 8-0 loss against Federal Hocking in Game 1. They came back against Eastern and lost 21-14 in Week 2. And then they lost to a good Belpre team who's 3-1, 55-19. But that score is a little bit misleading. In that game, Belpre scored. Fort Fry came right back down the field, marched the ball down, and put it in, and scored. Belpre scored again. Fort Fry answered again, and it was back and forth there for a while, and then Belpre kind of stretched it out a little bit and ended up winning that game 55-19. Then this past week against Waterford, the big rival on their schedule, because those teams or those schools are so close, they lost a close game which came down to the fourth quarter to Waterford 17-10. They went up in that game. Their quarterback, who also does a lot of the other things, kicked a field goal, and they were up at one point in time in that game, but they ended up losing 17-10. So thus far they have scored 43 points, averaging almost 11 points per game. They've given up 101, giving up an average of about 25 points a game. Rushing-wise, they've rushed the ball for 449 yards. They're averaging about 112 yards per game rushing. And passing 286, an average of about 76 yards per game. So scoring-wise, their quarterback has done most of their scoring by way of the run. He can pass, he can run. He's just a freshman. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute, but he's the guy that is the key to their offense.
Okay. When you look across that offense, I had a chance to peek at that roster earlier that you had. Another team that's probably going to line up bigger than us across that offensive line.
Yep, nothing different than in the past weeks and probably in the future. They're bigger than we are across the front, but we hope that our guys can come off the football and execute in the trenches to get the job done. Their center, Adam Schwindeman, he's kind of the leader of their offensive lineman. He's a senior, number 63, 6'1", 221. Brooker and Hennies, their guards, 6'1", 198. Brooker, number 50, number 65. Hennies is 5'10", 200 pounds. Their tackles, Brady Waters, 6'2", 190, number 52. And the big guy on the left side is Eric Whiteley. He's 6'1", 264, number 79. They move their ends in and out a lot. They'll rotate a couple different guys, 2 or 3 guys at the tight end. They'll rotate and alternate 2 or 3 guys at the split end. A guy by the name of Nick Spung, 6 foot, 182 pound senior, as number 88. One guy you'll see in there at the end positions. Eric Beal, number 81, also a senior, 6'3", 187. Calvin Dixon, 6 foot, 165, sophomore. He has 4 catches for 47 yards. Spung has 9 catches for 105 yards. So Spung is the guy they like to go to when they throw the football, but you probably see a few other guys get in the mix along with some of their backs. As we said, the key to their offense is their quarterback. He's an outstanding athlete from what I hear, not only a football player, but an outstanding basketball player, and probably maybe his best sport is baseball. But he's a freshman. He's 5'11", 181. His name's Tyler Engel, number 12. And as I said, he can throw the football. He likes to throw on the run. He can also run the football. He's not afraid to tuck it away and run it. And he doesn't really play like a freshman. He plays more like a junior or a senior. He's rushed 47 times for 163 yards. And passing-wise, he's 22 for 53, 236. He's only thrown 1 interception, so that's pretty good in the first 4 games for a freshman. And then in the other running back spots, We have their go-to guy, number 32, Bryce Allman. He's a senior, 5'8", 173. He's their leading rusher, 46 carries, 136 yards, and they like to go to him in a lot of key situations. Number 2, Dustin Howard, their fullback, also move into a wing or slot position. He's a junior, 5'10", 165, number 2. And number 10, Trent Best, the slot back. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 153. Had been at the quarterback spot, but as a result of Tyler Engel stepping in, he's manned one of the slot or wingback spots in the backfield. So they run that misdirection offense. By that we mean you're going to see guys in motion. You're going to see a fake one way and give the other way. You'll see a little counter action. You'll see a guy coming in motion, they'll hand off to him. You'll see a lot of that, what we call misdirection. In other words, instead of a straight ISO type of handoff or running out of a pro formation, they'll do that. And they'll also split some people out. They'll run the trips with 3 wide receivers, and he'll roll and they'll throw the ball. And they'll also go 2 wides, and they'll try to throw the ball down the field too. So a little bit more of a variety offensively, and something we don't see each and every week, so it's something that we're going to have to be well prepared for.
Well, in past years, Fort Pryor was pretty well one-dimensional the last several years. That misdirection you talk about just gave us fits. The nice part was you didn't have to worry about them throwing. They had absolutely no passing game, but from what you're showing there, it looks like they might be able to put it up a little better.
Yeah, this year with the addition of Tyler Engel, and he's only going to get better being a freshman each game, and with him in there, he has the ability to run or pass, and that's another thing. You can't just count on him to drop back and throw the ball. He's going to take off and run the ball too. And there's design keeps where he'll keep the ball. In fact, they've even put him in other positions other than quarterback and got the ball to him. So he's definitely a key to their offense.
Okay. From the defensive side of the ball, Fort Pryor, pretty predictable. They're going to pile up a whole pile of guys right up there and make us move them out, aren't they?
Well, they always do, Lance, and I think we're going to see a lot of what we've seen the last couple of weeks. We're going to see at least 8 guys in the box and up front, but our guys are getting used to that, and they've done a pretty good job as far as we've been able to move the ball on the ground, even though we've had a lot of people load up on us. So, again, it amounts to execution and how many of those battles you win at the line of scrimmage. And if our guys can come off the football and execute and get the job up front, we know that we have the backs that can get the job done as far as carrying the ball. So that remains to be seen, but hopefully, we can get that done. I don't know, weather-wise, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a real nice night. We're going to probably get the effects of the Hurricane Isabel coming off up the coast, so it could be for a muddy night, rainy night, and maybe the run could be a big factor.
Okay. When you look at that, then it does come down to those trenches. We saw that they had a pretty nice sized offensive line. Do we expect that most of those fellas will be right across the ball in defense as well?
Yeah, a lot of guys that line up on offense are playing defense too. They have Booker and Howard at the defensive ends. They alternate some guys at the down tackle. Walters will be in there. Hennies will be in there. Allman and Schwindeman are their inside linebackers. Walters, they got one young man, I'm not sure, it's number 15, but I didn't see any kind of name on the roster for 15, so we don't know who that is, but he lines up an outside linebacker. Spung, Best, and Engel are in the secondary, and that's probably been one area that's not been one of their strengths in the secondary. They've got hurt in several games as far as the secondary is concerned, but we're not a team that puts the ball up a lot, and if the weather's bad, it might not allow us to put it up, so we're going to have to get the job done on the ground.
Okay. Well, 7:30 kickoff, homecoming, a lot of stuff going on. Weather-wise, we don't know what's going on, so prepare for everything and get out here and support the Knowles going for number 5 tomorrow night. We're going to take a quick break and come back and wrap things up right after this.
No matter what the weather is, you can work out year-round at Transforming Physiques. For your convenience, new owner Kristen Rossiter has extended the hours. Students have the opportunity to work out before school, after school, or on Saturdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, come out at 6 a.m. and get your exercise in before going to work. Adult, student, and family memberships are available. They now have 2 tanning beds and stock the best of tanning supplies. Stop out to see a large variety of sports drinks, diet bars, supplements, vitamins, and sports attire. Now is the time to start transforming your physique. From a deck to a complete house, Woodsfield True Value has the lumber and building materials for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. Before you go out of town, Bring your plans into Troy and Mike for a free estimate. We think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Delivery is available for your project materials too. From lumber and siding to shingles, windows, insulation, and cabinets, Woodsfield True Value is your source for building materials and building packages. So give Troy or Mike a call today at Woodsfield True Value.
We're back to wrap things up. Before we do, though, Coach, part of the show we didn't normally have to, or we've been fortunate not to have to do a lot, but that's the injury report, the injury update. I know last week there was some concern with Robbie Dimmerling going down. Can you tell us his status and what else?
Well, we have a couple guys that are injured, Lance, injuries are a big key as far as your success is concerned. And, when you're playing about 17, 18 guys on Friday night, you've got to be, fortunate to stay healthy. And, up to this point we have, but we've sustained a couple injuries that we do not know the status on those young men, but very questionable that they'll play tomorrow night. And that's Robbie Dimmerling, who sustained a knee injury at Caldwell. Didn't really actually get hit by anybody. He just went to cut, plant his foot, and hurt his knee. And we've got him in rehab, and they're doing some testing to see exactly what his status is. But as of right now, we got to prepare with him not being able to play. The other one was an unfortunate, non-related football injury to Stephen Havik. Had an injury on a four-wheeler over the weekend, and his status is not very good either. In fact, he's very questionable, and I doubt very seriously whether he'll play Friday either. So those are the kind of things you don't want to happen, and especially, we got two guys out, and just so happens that's two of our defensive ends. We got three of the guys we've been working in there at that position, Dan Miller, Robbie Dimmerling, and Stephen Havik. And now we got two of them that are on the injured list. So defensively, that's going to make us do some scrambling. We don't know exactly. We may look at a couple, three different guys at that position and see how things go. We may have to move some people around, but it just goes to show you that you got to be very, very careful, and you've got to keep everybody healthy. That's a big key.
Oh, exactly. Well, this week the sideliner winners on the board, Rick Shipp. Seems like we say his name a lot. He was the big 50-50 winner last time game. Rick won the first quarter. Dolores and Donna Knowlton won the second quarter, as well as the third quarter with the same scores. And then Susan English won the final score. So it's sort of funny. She won the game.
She's a repeat winner too, isn't she?
Her 50-50 earlier.
50-50, yeah.
My name's on there somewhere. Doesn't look good for numbers this week either, but we'll see what happens.
Well, maybe Susie will take the whippersnapper out to eat.
Or invite old buddy Lance. It's homecoming. 7:30 is the kickoff time, but things will start out earlier than that as hopefully weather permitting, the parade will make their way out, and the Queen candidates will be announced as they come into the stadium. They'll be crowning the Queen at halftime, King having been crowned earlier tonight. TV6 will replay the game at 11 a.m. Saturday morning. Join Jeff Stevens and Matt Singleton for the recall of that game. So, Coach, halfway there almost, and doing a great job so far. It'd be nice to get them at 5-0.
Yes, it would, Lance, and it's hard to believe, but after this week, it'll be half over as far as the regular season. It's kind of coming real quick, and it's going real quick, so hopefully we can keep it rolling.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good evening.